So really, isn't this everybody's story? If you went back through your old photo albums, you would see that your great-grandparents and your grandparents are likely healthier and fitter than you are. And look at this. This is me here at age 7, my grandmother at age 57, my great-grandmother at age 77. Look how fit they were. Look at the steps behind me. This was at my mother's college graduation. They went up and down the steps at this stadium. Nobody had a handicapped sticker. Nobody had a cane. Nobody was getting knee and joint replacements. Look how healthy they were. My grandmother had a high school education. My great-grandmother had a second grade education and had to quit school to help the family. She was a seamstress, my great-grandmother, and she raised a family. And then my grandmother worked as a office manager at a medical office. But they had much less medical education than I did, and yet I was sicker and fatter and less healthy at the age of my grandmother. I was developing diabetes in my early 50s. And I was told, oh, you're just menopausal. You're just menopausal. Well, if it is, how come look at this? This is at 60, around 68, my great-grandmother was. And my great-grandfather was about the same age. Here I am at like 9 months old. How come? How come this is happening? Well, because we aren't eating like our ancestors. We're listening to doctors and all these studies about what to eat. And I really don't care what any new studies say because they knew it all. And how did your great-grandparents eat? In the United States, probably they ate more meat and fat. I was at Moody's in Fishers, Indiana, and I bought this wonderful brisket. This is going to be such a treat on the road. And I have sauerkraut that I packed, but they also had more sauerkraut at Moody's, so I packed this. It sounds really repetitive, but I'll put that on some greens. I'll put some eggs. I'll put some paleo dressing on it. And then I'll have some pecans that I've packed. Maybe I'll put some cinnamon and allulose on them to make them like a little kind of dessert. And then I filled up with black coffee. At this beautiful Cloverdale restaurant behind me, Cloverdale, Indiana truck stop. And I've got some La Croix in the car. So I'm not jumping around doing cardio. And neither did my ancestors, and they didn't eat a whole bunch of, fruits and vegetables. They didn't eat that way. And they didn't used to call it genetic diabetes. They called it sugar diabetes. Because sugar diabetes is what it truly is. What is the toughest load on your pancreas? It's carbohydrates, which are bread and potatoes and rice and crackers and cookies and granola bars and whole wheat biscuits and all this stuff. What is a great food for your pancreas is actually ancestral fat and protein. And this is what this beautiful brisket is. Lentils is another good tradition. I mean, there's basically any fat that existed before Crisco is an ancestral fat. Ghee, butter, ancestral fat, lard, beef tallow, all these things that have been demonized. It took generations to drum the wisdom out of people. My great-grandparents didn't listen to the doctors. They were saying, grease is goodness. We're not taking all the cholesterol. We don't care about that. And fast forward 30 years, they're being proven correct. And just because doctors invented antibiotics didn't mean they knew how to eat. Why do we have to reinvent the wheel? Why do we have to do all these scientific projects when our ancestors look like this? When people in Europe look like this who didn't adopt the low-fat way of eating? Well, I hope you have a wonderful day. This is Dr. Sarita. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.